Hampshire, where on their property, they walk through their property and there are dead bodies of sometimes young kids. That ever happened to you?
Absolutely. It's a frequent occurrence in Brooks County, Sean. Give you an example.
Yep.
2012 to currently right now, 254 dead bodies found on private property, ranch property in Brooks County, Texas. Most of them within 20 minutes of my front door.
In what period of time?
Since 2012.
Wow.
Since 2005, over 600. And we probably only find about 20 or 25% of them.
And then they just have these unmarked graves and they just bury these,
Well, a lot of these bodies that we find are already scavenged by vultures and wild hogs and wildlife. Right. So actually, a lot of times all we find are bones or decomposing bodies.
That's pretty. Is that very common, Constable?
It's common. Once from our standpoint, in law enforcement, we try to at least catch them here or detain them here for the border patrol. And the reason for that is because if not, they end up in the stats out. Especially women and children may be raped, kidnapped, for ransom. And then if they're not caught there, then they end up in the ranch land, like Mr. Vickers' ranch, and who knows what happens to them then? No water.
You're just telling me that 7 illegal immigrants just moments ago were caught.
Probably within the last 30 minutes, there were 7 undocumented immigrants that came across.
Right down?
Downriver from here on the downside of the dam.
About a quarter of a mile.
About a quarter of a mile, and you can see the conditions just right now. It's raining.
Right.
And the smuggler risked their lives getting them across. They did get across.
And this was a family, and they were able to. They knew they were from El Salvador, and they knew once they got here.
I'm not sure where they were from.
Yeah, they told me they just told me
could have been that. Yes.
Yeah. What about the criminal element? Because one of the things I was briefed on this morning is the idea that, if you look at the last 6-7 years in Texas, 624,000 crimes, including home invasion, rape, and murder, and drug dealing. I mean, it runs the gamut. And a lot of it has happened in Texas, especially here in South Texas. You experience that with
Absolutely. We have a border watch group called the Texas Border Volunteers. We go out on all this private property and report these criminals bringing their human cargo in or their drug cargo in. And there's a huge criminal element. A lot of these people that the Border Patrol apprehend after we call them and report them are gang members. We've got MS-13, we've got Pistoleros, we've got TANGO-BLASTER'S, we've got all these different criminal organizations that are affiliated with the cartels bringing these people and drugs.
And what are they doing in these southern border towns? What are they doing to people?
Well, most of them are getting deported, and quite frankly, a lot of them...
What crimes are they committing against people in the town?
Well, a lot of these dead bodies that you mentioned, these guys are the ones that are leading them through the private property. They dupe them of their money, for one thing. They take their money, they tell them they're going to be in the brush for only 10 or 20 minutes, and 12 hours later, they're out there in that harsh environment, cramped up. They go down. They don't call 911. They leave them right there, and that's where we find them dead.
What do you see?
They think that Houston is an hour away from here. It's not. It's 320, 30 miles from here.
Yeah.
And that's our biggest fear. But not only that, we do have a humanitarian effort to help these women and children and family units that are coming across. But at the same token, we have illegal drugs coming across. The smugglers trying to get those that don't want to get caught, that may want to cause harm to our citizens here. And so those are the elements that we have to take care of. We got Border Patrol agents that are processing these undocumented aliens. Send civilians to take care of those, put more boots on the ground, get them out of their desk.
What's your take on Washington? Obviously, the governor had this meeting with the president yesterday. What is your take on what Washington is or isn't doing?
Sean, the Border Patrol do not have the resources to shut this border down. Texas has stepped up. The governor has stepped up with putting these DPS patrolmen down here along the border. It's made a difference. It's probably helps shut that traffic down 80%. They work side by side with the Border Patrol. But we definitely need more Border Patrol agents, and the governor's recommendation for the National Guard is a thumbs up for me.
Yeah.
Our sheriff's department, like the sheriff's department that I live, in the county I live in, Brooks County, they only have 4 deputies to patrol probably close to 1,000 square miles. One deputy any 8-hour shift. So we're pretty much on our own out there. We depend on the Border Patrol for protection.
Do people, ranch officers like yourself feel that you need to take your security into your own hands? And I don't mean that in a negative way. Just do you feel
we're forced to be very vigilant. You know, we have dogs around the house that will alert us whenever this traffic's coming up. We're constantly vigilant, and we're constantly armed with a cell phone and a firearm.
You know, Worth County, which is just the north of us, is not considered a border county under the grant guidelines to be able to say to accept grant money to put more people on the ground.
right?
They need to be considered that.
That's the thing, Sean. Our sheriff's department, any county that has a border patrol checkpoint needs to be considered a border county so that they can receive the federal resources to be able to have the manpower and the resources to be able to help
front
us.
line. I think a lot of people may be watching and think, oh, this isn't affecting me. It's not my county. But the reality is the people now are vetting out there. There are a lot of illegal immigrants in New York where I live, and they probably crossed here. And, all right, guys, good to see you. Appreciate your time.
You bet.
Thank you very much.
Okay,
Thank you,
thank
sir.
you so much.
We've got an open invitation to come out with us sometime.
We've been doing that all day. I'm going out. I think I'd rather go and eat some barbecue.
There you go.
All right, hang on one second, guys. Then coming up, two religious leaders take us inside the humanitarian efforts and crisis of this border war as this Hannity investigation continues. We are in McAllen, Texas. That's Rio Grande right behind me. We'll continue.